Trying to get our angles right here for our Facebook Live. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning. Alrighty. We have 5 minutes until class begins. So if there are any areas anyone would like to work on other than the shoulders and neck area that we are planning to focus on today, feel free to type that in the comments. And right before class begins, I'll open or take a look at the comments and see. But until then, we'll take these first few moments here before class begins just to start to shut off anything around us and start to turn on our awareness to what's happening within us. So go ahead and find a nice, comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed like ashas. So if you're on Instagram, please look at Asha for intensifications of various postures. And on Facebook, on the left side of the body, I won't be cueing those poses, I'll just be guiding them. So please be mindful of that. You can always listen to the instructions and turn off or not look at the screen and just listen if you like to close your eyes through practice. And just use this screen to bring you back into focus if you find your thoughts drifting or if you're not sure what's being cued or instructed. Let's go ahead and get into that comfortable seat. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're starting in Sukhasana, which is easy pose. A nice grounding pose for meditation. If you're just joining us, meet us in a comfortable seat. As we prepare to break the momentum of stress and worry by focusing on the momentum of the inflow and outflow of our breath. Taking this next hour to step into ourselves and away from everything outside of us and outside of our control. So if you're in that comfortable seat, go ahead and remain there. Just going to check the comments to see if anyone had any areas they wanted to specifically work on today. All right. Good. And from your seat, let's all begin just placing a hand on the heart, your right hand, and then taking that left hand right underneath your belly. Let's all take the biggest, most intentional breath that we've taken since we've been up. Go ahead and fill your belly up with breath. Fill up your rib cage, fill up your chest. As you exhale, feel the chest soften and the belly. Breathe in, filling. Feel the breath rise all the way up to your chest. And as you exhale, feel it release. Breathe in. And breathe out as you contract the low belly, squeezing the stale air out. Inhale, filling up belly, your rib cage, your entire thoracic spine. And then feel everything releasing and softening. Take 2 more inhales and exhales, exactly as you are. Taking a moment here to feel what's going on inside of you. Every exhale working to release what's going on outside of you. Allow your hands to rest in your lap or at the top of your knees with your palms facing the ceiling. And on your next inhale, lift your shoulders up by your ears. As you exhale, rotate them down and back. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, rotate them down and back. Let that breath fill and lift the body. And as you exhale, feel it start to release. Continue taking these shoulder rolls slowly. Starting to also let your breath be your guide. Go ahead and change directions. So as you inhale, feel the body naturally lift. And as you exhale, feel it release. Feel that tightness all up in here, starting to dissipate with each breath. Our bodies like to hold a lot of tension and stress in this area. We're going to work to release some of that today. Now go ahead and interlace your fingers right in front of you. Take a big breath in, press the palms forward. Inhale as you lift your arms up high. Now those shoulders are going to want to lift up too. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down away from the earlobes, creating this space along the neck here. Feel the shoulder blades draw down the spine. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale as you stretch over to the right. Feel that left hip rounding through your mat. Gazing up towards the ceiling, drawing the shoulder blades back so the chest is open. Inhale, come back through center, look past your fingers, shoulders still down. Exhale to the opposite side. Inflate your torso with breath as the chest lifts to the ceiling. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Lift your gaze, your arms, your palms. Exhale to bring those hands right behind your hips. Turn the fingertips towards your body. Press your palms flat onto the mat and lean back. And just feel this opening, broadening your collarbone with your breath. Take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, see that your bottom half of your body is anchored into your yoga mat. Go ahead and unwind your legs. Press into the toes here. Take your knees hips distance apart. And as you inhale, lift your chin up. Lift your sternum up and breathe into the chest. As you exhale, press your palms and your feet firmly into the mat. You may stay right here. You still feel a good stretch throughout the chest here. You may also lift your hips up, moving into reverse table. If you're here, see that you're not putting any weight in your neck and shoulder area by letting your head fall back in your shoulder girdle. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Cross your legs. Take a deep breath in. Lift the arms over your head. Fill up, look up, reach up. As you exhale, start to come forward, hinging from your hips. Anchor through your sitting bones and walk your fingertips out a bit. Feel your back body starting to stretch. Take an inhale, lift your chin out towards your fingers. And as you exhale, fold all the way in. And since we're still getting this morning body warmed up, feel free to grab a block, a blanket, or something at your house that you might be able to rest your head on if the body's still feeling tight this morning. Take 5 of those deep breaths through your nose. Taking that 3-part breath, first filling up the low belly with breath, your rib cage and your chest, and letting that breath move out in the opposite direction. Observing how you feel, breath by breath. And that next inhale, start to inflate your chest, lift your arms, look up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, plant the hands behind your hips again, fingertips facing your bottom. Unwind your legs. Good. Press your feet into the ground, and as you inhale, lift your heart. Fill up your belly and let it float towards the ceiling with your breath. So you may have the hips down like me. You may have the hips up like Asha. Wherever you are, take 3 more balanced breaths through your nose. Visualizing it move into the belly, floating it up towards the ceiling. Exhale to slowly release. Come back down to your seated position with your legs crossed. As you inhale, fill the lungs up, lift your arms up, look up. And as you exhale, release your breath and your body. Start to inch the fingertips forward. Take a breath in, extend the chin out to feel that extension through the lumbar spine. And then exhale to fold forward. Feel that low back start to extend with your breath. Take 5 breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Fill up and start to lift your body up. Lift your arms up, lift your eyes up, and stretch your whole body to the ceiling. Plant the hands behind your hips, and we'll go for a 3rd round of this heart opening table pose, reverse table, or this variation that I'm in. Wherever you are, take 5 deep breaths through your nose. Breathe into the belly, the rib cage, the chest, and exhale as you feel it all soften. Working to release some of the tightness in our shoulders. Take another deep breath in, stretching out this area. And as you exhale, release. Make your way back into that cross-legged seated position. Take a breath in, fill up, lift your body with your breath, your life force, and then come onto your hands and knees. If you have any issues with your knees, feel free to stay in a seated position. If your knees are a little tender, like mine, use a blanket and put it underneath your knees. Take your knees far apart to the corners of your yoga mat. Bring your big toes together and have a seat on your heels. If you're like Asha, a bit more flexible, you can let your forehead come down. If you're like me with an injury or not that flexible, that's all good. This is a place to be. Go ahead, grab you a block or a blanket, and you can rest your head on that. This is a beautiful restorative pose. Child's pose. Also, so is Sukhasana, that seated position we began class in. So if there's ever a moment on your mat when you find your mind moving away from your breath, away from this inward focus, I invite you to come to child's pose or to a comfortable seated position to bring you back into this moment, right here, in your body. On your next breath in, fill your lungs up and rise all the way up to your hands and knees into table pose. In this stable table, take the knees hips distance apart. Spread your fingertips far apart, and as you exhale, round your spine, peek at your belly here. Then take a deep breath in, fill your belly up, lift your gaze up. Good, as you exhale, round the spine. In your cat pose, press the floor away from you, press the toenails into the floor. And as you inhale, inflate the rib cage and lift your chin. Take a few more of these cat and cows at the pace of your breath. Just arching and concaving your back. Now working to link our breath and our movement. Good work, everybody. Go ahead, spread those fingers far apart and start to flex your toes, pressing the toes into the floor. We're going to do something that I had not done in a long time until recently and realized how wonderful this pose is. Asha, go ahead and lift your knees just a few inches off of the floor, just letting them hover off of the floor. Starting to give that cardiovascular system a boost this morning, engaging the heart here. Take 3 breaths here in this floating table pose. If you find yourself breathing quickly here, you can always lower the knees back down. Otherwise, take 1 more breath here. Exhale into your downward dog. Start to lift your hips up and drive your heels down. You can always stay on the knees. That's no indictment. That's just an opportunity to honor your body here today. Look at your knees or maybe at your navel here and shake your head right and left. Yes and no. Letting go of anything you're carrying on your shoulders this morning. And then start to walk your dog, bending one knee while the other leg straightens. On your next inhale, start to walk up to the top of your yoga mat. I'm going to walk to the back so you can still see me. Grab your block if you need one or you have one, and lift up halfway with a flat back. You can place your hands on a block like me so you can straighten the back, or maybe your fingertips come to your shin or the floor like Asha. Wherever you are, see that your back is flat here and you're rolling the shoulder heads back so you start to get this early stretch of the hamstrings in the back. As you exhale, fold forward, bring your heart to your thighs. Maybe have a little gentle bend in the knees while looking at the belly. Inhale, lift just halfway again. We'll take that 2 more times at the pace of the breath. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway with the flat back. Notice the shoulders, draw them back. Good. Exhale, lower back down to your forward fold, hamstrings lengthening. Last half lift. Lift halfway up, noticing the action of your neck and shoulders. And as you exhale, plant the hands down. Come to the top of a plank or to your hands and knees. Good. And from here, allow your hips to be parallel with your shoulders. Press back through the heels, or maybe even lower those knees down if you find that the breath is a little short here. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Take 1 more inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Keep the elbows in here. Press your toenails down, elbows still reaching towards one another. On your next inhale, reach the arms back today. Good. This takes a little weight off of the shoulders. Breathe in and lift your chest up. Lift your chin up. Good. Press your palms back down. Let's meet in table pose. Or right in your downward dog. Yogi's choice. Let your breath decide where your body should be. Awareness is one of the first steps in healing. When we're aware of how we're feeling, we can do something about it. So take a few more moments here in your table pose or your downward dog. Just being fully aware of your breath, your inhalation and your exhalation. And then go ahead and rise up to your toes and step your feet up to the top of your yoga mat. Go ahead and take that half lift as you peek forward with the flat back. And as you exhale, fold all the way in, heart to thighs or in that direction. Press through your toes. Take a big inhale and circle your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Reach up, look up, round through the feet, and bring your palms together at your heart. Close your eyes for a moment here in equal standing. Samastihi. Notice how you're breathing. As you inhale, shrug your shoulders up by your ears. As you exhale, release your breath and your shoulders down. And that next inhale, lift your arms up. Step your feet hips distance apart. Good. So see that the ankles are underneath your hip flexors. Interlace your fingertips behind your low back. Maybe those hands are far apart, or maybe you can draw them together. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs up, and look up. Good. Feel the traps contracting here. And as you inhale, inflate the chest with breath. Exhale, start to fold forward, hinging from your hips and drawing the low belly in and up here. Good. Let your hands come over the head if possible. We'll take 5 deep breaths here through the nose. And while you're breathing, I'm just going to peep at the comments and see what's going on our Instagram or Sidewalk Detroit Instagram. Good morning, everybody. Keep breathing here. Good. Exhale, release your fingertips down to the floor. If you have a block, go ahead and grab your block. Let your left hand rest on the floor or on your block. Put a bend into your left knee, a slight bend, and then raise that right arm up towards the sky. And breathe. Take 3 balanced breaths here through your nose, stacking this right shoulder right over your left shoulder. And then start to rotate your right wrist. As you exhale, release your right arm down, bend your right knee, and as you breathe in, inflate the chest and wave the left arm up to the sky. Working to stack your left shoulder right over the right shoulder. Take a deep breath in, inflating chest so the rhomboids draw together. Circling the left wrist. And as you exhale, lower the left hand down to your block or to the floor. As you inhale, lift up halfway with your nice flat back. Go ahead and plant your hands. Come down to your table pose. This might be the top of a plank for some of you yogis if you ate your breakfast or you feel really strong this morning. Wherever you are, take another deep breath, rib cage expanding in opposite directions. As you exhale, slowly lower. Let your chest meet the mat before your pelvis to protect your rotator cuffs. Reach the arms back behind you and fly this morning. Wake up your back body. Take a deep breath in as you lift the heart with your breath. Go ahead, plant the hands under the shoulders and rise to your stable table. Or maybe you move into that downward dog. Take 5 breaths, yogi's choice. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. And this can always, always be child's pose. Yoga is really this breathing exercise to draw your attention inwards. Take 2 more breaths in this stable table or in your inverted V, your downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. And on that next inhale, start to walk your feet up to the top of your yoga mat, lifting up halfway as you inflate your belly, draw the shoulders back, And exhale to fold forward. Let the shoulder heads hang heavy to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Circle your arms up towards the sky. Rooting down through the pelvis. Feel your heels root. Press the palms together and let them rest at your heart. Take a big breath in, separating your feet, hips distance. Interlace your fingertips behind the low back and ground through each toe and both heels. Take a breath in, inflate your chest. Draw the shoulder blades together. Big breath in here. And as you exhale, start to fold forward, taking the hands away from your low back. So you start to feel this area around the shoulders that likes to hold our residual stress and tension in our bodies. Feel your breath slowly move that tension out of the shoulders. And on your next exhale, release your fingertips down to the floor or your block. Good. Bend your left knee. Fill your lungs up and raise your right arm up towards the sky. Take 3 breaths. After your third exhale, change sides. And you might move slower or faster than Asha and I, and that's fine. You want to move at the pace of your respiration. Take one more inhale, extending through your left fingers. And as you exhale, lower the hands down to the block or to your shins. Lift up halfway, elongating your spine and your hamstrings. And plant the hands, come on down to your table or your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale as you slowly release your breath and body. Feel your navel reaching towards the spine here. As you inhale, fill your belly up and lift the heart. Good. Exhale, plant your hands. Make your way to your table or your downward dog for 5 breaths. Maybe it's child's pose. If you were with us on Friday, you know about the one of 7 yoga axioms that I shared, which is everything is impermanent. Every pose, every moment, every challenge. So you're always invited to take any modification or variation of a pose if it feels like it's just too much and it's never ending. Go ahead and rise to your toes, or maybe you lift the knees up here and start to walk your feet all the way up to the top of your yoga mat. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, fold back in half. Fill your lungs up, reach your arms all the way back up to the ceiling. Look up, stand tall, and bring the palms together at your heart. We'll do one more round of that variation of Sun Salutation A. If you're familiar with this practice, feel free to begin to move at your own pace. Let's begin taking the feet apart, interlacing the hands beneath your tailbone. Take a deep breath into your chest, to your belly, to your ribs. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. You have 5 breaths here. You find the mind distracted. Gently, without any judgment, bring it back to your breathing. Good. And as you exhale, release the fingertips down to the floor and take those arm lifts from right to left. 3 breaths on both sides. Good. Exhale, lower the hands down. Good. Make your way to your table or your plank. No rush to get there. Beautiful focus. It's like I can feel you guys focusing. I can't see you. I wish I could though, but take another breath here. Exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Inhale, fill the lungs up, lift up. You can do cobra if you forgot to do the other pose like me, and then exhale to your table or your downward dog. Now from here, we're going to build on to our flow just a bit. As you inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Keep the right leg flexed. You can even keep the right toes down if you need to. Personally, I can't put weight on that left knee, so I'm just going to press back through the right foot, whereas Asha on Instagram, stretching that sky from downward dog. Now go ahead and step your right foot up between your hands. Good. Pivot your left heel down. Starting to move into warrior letter A. Good. Bring your hands to your hips here. Good. Bring your right hip crease back. Bring the left hip crease forward. And look down at that left foot. See that your left foot is at a 45-degree angle. And on your next inhalation, fill the lungs up and sweep your arms up above your heart and your head and look up. And breathe. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Good. On your next exhale, start to straighten that right leg out. And then open up to the long edge of your mat. Keep your right toes facing the front of your mat. Grab a block if you need one and place it on the inner arch of your right foot. Place your right hand on your shin or your block or maybe fingertips on the floor. Wherever you are, see that you're opening up the chest here. Draw that left shoulder blade back. And as you inhale, raise your left arm all the way to the sky in triangle pose. Take another deep breath in here through the nose. And as you exhale, surround your right foot with both of your hands and lower the left knee down to the yoga mat. Good. Press your left palm firmly on the mat to take the weight off of your wrists. So spread those fingertips far apart. You can even use a block to bring the floor closer up to you. As you inhale, raise your right arm up to the sky. And then draw that right arm behind your back. Take a moment here. Feel the shoulders stretching down and back as we open up the heart. And still lunging into that right knee. Inhale as you raise the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, surround your right foot and press into the palms. Now for some of you like Asha, this is going to be a little core strengthener, maybe even me. Maybe I'll do it now too. Go ahead and start to fold the left toes under and lift that right leg all the way up and back to the ceiling in a 3-leg downward facing dog. And then lower the right foot down and breathe. Let's try that on our left side. As you inhale, lift your left foot up and back, flexing your left foot so the hips are parallel. And then begin to step your left foot all the way up between your hands and pivot your right heel down. I won't be demonstrating on that side. Go ahead and inhale, lift your arms up, making your way into your variation of Warrior A. That can be right here down on the knee in kneeling crescent, where you can be in that full Warrior A like Asha is on Instagram, extending through the torso all the way up through the fingertips. Hips facing forward. Take one more inhalation here through the nose. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Start to straighten out that left leg. Good. Breathing deeply through your nose here. Turn your body take that left hand down your left leg or take your left hand onto the block. And as you inhale, raise your right arm up towards the sky. Preparing for triangle pose. Take a breath in here. Feel the chest opening. The legs growing stronger. More importantly, the mind growing stronger by maintaining that inward focus. Take one more breath here, and as you exhale, surround your left foot with both of your hands. See that that right hand is firmly on a block or onto the floor, and on your next inhale, start to wave the right or the left arm up towards the sky, twisting here and opening. Continue to lunge in that left leg. Allow your left thigh to become parallel with your yoga mat, and then begin to wrap the left arm behind your back. Stretching your shoulders this morning and opening up the heart. Your next inhale, fill the lungs up and let the fingertips rise to the ceiling. Go ahead and surround your left foot with both of your hands. Start to fold the right toes under. And on your next inhale, you're going to use your abdominal muscles to press that left leg all the way up and back towards the sky in downward facing dog. Start to pedal your feet in downward dog. This can always be on your hands and knees, gently moving the hips from side to side. Yogi's choice. Good. This can always be that beautiful restorative child's pose. Take what you need. And we'll take one more breath in and out here in your table or your down dog. And then we'll go ahead, rise off of the knees and lift the heels up and bring the feet all the way to the top of our yoga mats. Take your time to get there. As you inhale, lift up halfway with a flat back. And as you exhale, fold forward, fold in deep. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up to the sky. Reach up, look up. And then exhale as we bring the hands down to the heart. Go ahead and start to bend those knees. Go ahead, shift your weight back to your heels. If you have any back pain, I invite you to separate your feet hips distance apart. Otherwise, the toes can come together and just leave the heels apart about the distance of a golf ball. Whichever way you have your feet, allow those thighs to start to internally rotate towards one another. As you exhale, scoop the low belly in and up. And on your next inhale, float the fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling in your chair pose. Keep breathing through your nose. So one of the things that we've heard from a lot of students at this time is one of the things causing stress is isolation. This isolation from others, from our jobs, from connecting, but even this isolation with ourselves. Take another deep breath in here, maybe exhale, sinking a little deeper into this pose. This word yoga means to yoke the mind and the body. Healing this isolation that we may be experiencing. Take 2 more breaths in your chair pose. Relying on and focusing on that deep, deep inner strength within us all. Exhale, fold over your straight, soft knees. Let it go. Let it go. Inhale as you lift up halfway with a nice flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, come to the top of your table or the top of your plank. And as you exhale, slowly lower down to your chest. Take your time to get there. Take a breath in, fill your lungs up and lift your body. Exhale to your downward facing dog or to your stable table. Fill the lungs up and lift that right leg all the way back behind you, or maybe press back through that right heel. Good. Start to bring the right knee to your chest and plant the right foot between your palms. Good. Pivot your left foot down if you lift that left knee up, or you can stay down on the left knee as I am here. And on your next inhale, lift the arms all the way up towards the sky, making your way into Warrior A, Virabhadrasana A. Good. root down through the outer edges of that left foot. And if you're right here like me on the knee, see that your right knee is over the right ankle, creating this 90-degree bend at the knee. Take one more inhale here in your warrior A, extending through the fingertips. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And if you're like me, start to lift that knee up with your hands on your hips. Open up to the long edge of your mat. Good. Reach the arms out. Start to reach the right fingertips forward and allow your right fingertips to come to the shin, to the floor, or to a block. Good. Take a breath in, fill up, and look up if that doesn't give your neck any pressure or strain. And as you exhale, surround your right foot with both of your hands, gently lowering the left knee down to the yoga mat. Good. Press the left hand firmly down into the mat and take a full inhalation. Inflate your belly and your chest as the right arm rises. Now, you can go ahead and take the right hand behind your back as we did last round, or you can move right into this weight-bearing position. Go ahead and take your right foot to the back of the yoga mat. So you're moving into a side plank, a supported side plank. As I said, I won't be modeling or doing that portion with you on this side due to my own physical limitations. But for you guys that are looking at Instagram, you have Asha there as a model to show you what to do in that supported side plank. So lift the right arm all the way up as that right leg reaches all the way back. Something like this. Good. Take one more breath in and out there. Exhale, lower your right hand down to the floor, and let's all meet here or in downward dog, or maybe in that beautiful supported child's pose. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Go ahead and lift that left leg all the way up and back behind you. And then firmly plant that left foot between your hands. Good. Maybe if you have the knee down, you lift it, or maybe you hang out on that knee. Inhale, fill the lungs up and start to rise up to your warrior letter A. Good. Reach your arms up towards the sky and breathe through your nose. You can always stay down on the knee as I am. But if you need a little more this morning, or you'd like to move into the full variation of the posture, lift this right leg up off the ground, straighten up the leg, and breathe through your nose. Take one more inhale here in warrior letter A, and then grab your block if you need it. Bring your hands to your hips and start to open your body up towards the long edge of your yoga mat. Good. Keep that right foot parallel to the short edge of your mat and allow the left toes to face the front of your yoga mat. Start to let your left hand reach forward, and then the left hand can come down to the shin or either to your block. As you inhale, raise your right arm up towards the sky. If you notice the body collapsing at all, so if your finger's on the floor but you're kind of like coming forward to lift the arm up, maybe come to that block so you can take it all the way back and open the chest up. Take one more inhalation here. And exhale, release your hands around the left foot and lower your right knee down to the yoga mat. Press your right hand firmly down into the mat or onto your block. And as you inhale, raise your left arm up towards the sky as you twist open. Maybe stay right here. But if you'd like to move into this weight-bearing position, go ahead and start to stretch that left leg back to the back of your yoga mat in a supported side plank. Just one variation of Vashisthasana. What you could do is straighten both legs, or maybe you even lift your left pinky toe up to the sky. Wherever you are, see that you're stacking your left hip over your right hip, your left shoulder over your right shoulder. Good. Exhale. Come on down to your hands and knees. Now take that same left leg, stretch it out back behind you. Good. And then bring it up between your hands. Bring it all the way, or bring it outside of that left hand. Good. Maybe even inch the right knee over and back. We're going to take a little hip opener here today. Go ahead, grab your block or your blanket and bring your elbows down to it in humble warrior. We want to make sure we're not putting any weight on the shoulders here. So draw up from the shoulders. Good. Tuck your chin. Lunge into that left knee and breathe through your nose. If you feel any tightness, unbearable tightness, you can come out of it. Come onto your hands. You can even roll onto the outer edge of your left foot if that is more soothing for you or gives you more space in the hips. While we're here, I like to read to you a piece from Opening Your Heart to Your Feelings and to Inner Peace from Dr. Dean Ornish's program for reversing heart disease, where he says, isolation can lead to stress and ultimately to illness, whereas intimacy can be healing. And he talks about the several forms of isolation that isolation can come in. Continue to practice yoga, where it can heal from our isolation. All of this is on page 143, and I fully encourage you to read it to have a more in-depth look at how this practice can heal us from isolation and so many other things that we could be facing at this time. Take another deep breath in and out of your body. And then eventually, on that next inhale, rise up to your hands. Take the left knee back to meet your right. You can move the hips from side to side, or go to downward dog and move the hips from side to side and walk it out. Bringing blood back into that left hip. From here, go ahead and step your right foot up between the hands. Good. You can even go ahead and take that right hand inside of your right foot, coming onto the outer edge of that right foot. Good. Then grab your block if you need one. Take a breath in to stretch the heart forward, creating some more space in the hip. And then go ahead and come on down to your elbows. Maybe you take the elbows to the floor. But if you notice that you started to breathe quickly, I'd like you to come right here so you can continue to practice yoga. This yoking of the mind and body through the breath. While you're here, breathe in and breathe out. Try to take 3 more breaths here in your humble warrior. Fully aware of each inhalation and each exhalation. On your next inhale, start to rise up to your hands and take the right knee back to meet the left. Take your time to get there. Now go ahead, take the knees hips distance apart. Make sure you feel nice and balanced here. Take that left hand towards the center of your yoga mat. As you inhale, raise your right arm up. As you exhale, thread your needle. Bring that right arm and right shoulder all the way down to the yoga mat. Good. Press your left hand into the floor. As you inhale, fill up and raise the right arm all the way back up. Exhale as you release the right arm. And inhale as you raise the right arm. Take a few more of these at the pace of your breath. And now that left hip is going to want to move, but keep it nice and stable so that twist is coming from your navel rather than letting your hip go down. Keep that hip like that and just twist from your navel. Good. Lower the right hand down. Let's try the other side. Inhale, wave the left arm up. And exhale as you thread the needle. Good. Inhale, fill. Feel the chest, shoulders open up. And exhale as you release. Try 2 more of those at the pace of your breath. Last one. Breathe in, fill up, open your body up, open your heart up, and then come on down to your hands and knees. Now work to balance your breath. Take a big inhale through the nose, raise that right arm up. And this time as we thread the needle, just let your right ear and right shoulder hang down onto the floor. You can always let your right ear or shoulder rest on a blanket or a block. If your head is on a block or a blanket, leave out the next steps and breathe here. If your face is on the floor, take a deep breath in and start to lift that left leg back behind you. Straighten the left leg and press back through the left heel. If your breath is steady and balanced, maybe you lift that left leg up. Balancing your breath to balance your body, to balance your mind. So when we do meet a stressful moment, we can break that momentum of stress with our breath. Take one more inhale. Exhale as you lower that left knee back down. Press into your left palm. Take a big inhale as you raise your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Let's try that other side. Take a deep breath in, raise your left arm up. And exhale as you start to thread the needle. Bring your left shoulder and ear all the way down to the floor. And you can use this right arm to walk in front of you. You can even take it behind your back, placing the hand in your hip crease. Wherever you are, continue to breathe deeply through your nose, evenly through your nose. Aware of what's happening within your body. On that next inhale, maybe you start to extend the right leg up and back. If your knees are okay or your breath feels nice and steady, start to lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. Take another breath in here, flexing the right foot, extending the right leg and stretching the hamstring. And as you exhale, release that right knee down, press into your right palm, fill your lungs up and let the left arm rise back up to the ceiling. Good, exhale, come on to the hands and knees. Cross your ankles and bring your feet through in front of you, or make your way to a nice, comfortable, seated position. Take your time to get there. Take any extra flesh from underneath your sitting bones. Good. So you can get nice and grounded here. Take an inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze, reach up. And as you exhale, let it all go. Folding in. Maybe you catch your knee underneath your knees, your ankles or your shins, or maybe the outer edges of your feet. Wherever you are, take a full inhalation, extending your chin forward. And as you exhale, fold in, trying to keep the spine as flat as possible here as you peek between your knees or your navel. You may even let your head rest on a block or a blanket. Wherever you are, notice those shoulders. When you exhale, work to bring softness to them, releasing them away from your ears. On your next inhale, inflate your belly. Use it to rise, lifting the heart and the fingertips and the eyes. And then on your next exhale, let it go, not reaching for anything. Just letting go. Yoking the mind and body. Healing ourselves from any isolation we may feel from ourselves or others. Now slowly, backbone by backbone, start to lift up and make your way onto your backs. Take your time to get there. Oh, our Instagram video ended, so I'm gonna start it again. But if you're on your back, perfect. Lying down on your back, hug the knees in towards your chest and start to rock a bit from side to side. Draw a few little circles in the ceiling to give yourself a little massage. And from there, press your footprints up to the ceiling. Just kind of hang out here in candlestick pose for a few breaths. Let your toes dangle down to your face. If your neck and your shoulders are okay, they don't feel tight or you don't have any injury to that area, start to lift your hips up to stack over your shoulders, moving into a shoulder stand. Otherwise, hang out exactly as you are. Maybe rotating the ankles. Letting the blood flow with your breath. Then go ahead, let's all bend our knees and bring your feet onto the floor. Walk your shoulder blades together, and on your next inhale, fill up the belly, fill up the rib cage, fill up the chest, and start to let it rise towards the ceiling. Keep your quadriceps engaged as they stretch here. In this back bend, Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. You can also be supported in this or any pose by bringing a block underneath your low back. Take a few more breaths here, gazing directly at the ceiling to protect your neck. And as you exhale, slowly start to release your breath, maybe your block, and your body down to the floor. Hug your knees into your heart. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And then hug your right knee into the chest. Extend your left leg long. Let your right arm splay out to the right side of the yoga mat. And then start to draw your right knee over to the left side of your body. That right shoulder might want to hike up. See if you can continue to let it rest down on the ground. And then peek over your right shoulder. This is a beautiful position for a nice stretch, a subtle stretch in the neck and in the shoulders. And on your next breath in, squeeze the knees into your chest. And we'll change sides. Hug your left knee in towards your body as you extend your right leg all the way out. Good. Start to draw that left knee across the body to the right of you. Let your left arm reach all the way out to your left. And if you notice either shoulder hiking up, see if you can let those shoulders melt down in the mat. And peek over your left shoulder. Just feeling any weight or stress or tension in your shoulders. Melt into the mat. Go ahead and bring the knees back through center. Take a big squeeze. Exhale as you release the feet down. Let your knees open far apart like pages of a book here. Press your soles together and let the knees reach out. And on your next inhale, reach the arms over your head. Good. Just lying down with your nose facing the ceiling. Allow your eyes to close. Good. On your back in that reclined cobbler's pose. Check into what's going on inside. Becoming aware of each breath. This breath indicates how we're feeling in the moment. Go ahead and begin to regulate your breath in this breathing exercise before we close our practice. Take a deep breath in, filling the belly for 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath at the top, retaining it. Open your mouth and let it out. Breathe in, fill up both of your lungs. Fill up your rib cage. Fill up your chest. Retain your breath. Feel it, visualize it in your lungs, your heart, your shoulders, your neck. Exhale, let the breath go. Last one, breathe in, sipping in as much breath as you can through the nose, filling up all of your internal organs. Breathe it in, hold it, and let it go. Now, from lying on your back, start to stretch out your heels to the corners of your yoga mat. Slowly let your hands come down by your sides. And allow your eyes to close if they aren't already. And this is our final pose, lying on your back completely still. Using this final pose to take rest. In this restful state of awareness, just giving yourself permission to notice what's happening inside of you. begin to add a little movement to your toes to reawaken the body. Add some movement to your fingertips. Allow your chin to move from one shoulder to the other. We're going to take just a few more of these today since our focus is on the neck and shoulders. Just rolling out any tightness remaining in that space. And on your next inhale, take a deep breath in, reach your arms over your head. Fill your whole body with this gift of breath. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Hug your knees into your chest. And start to rock a little bit from side to side. All the way onto the left side, the side of the heart, in a fetal position. Then plant your hands. Feel your way up to a comfortable seat. And meet me sitting up nice and tall with your palms together and your hands at your heart system, heart center. With your eyes closed, just taking another moment to acknowledge your breath. I just want to read to you one more note from Reversing Heart Disease. He says, yoga is a system of powerful tools for achieving union and healing with parts of ourselves, with others, and with the higher force and our life force, our breath. Let's just take one more moment to acknowledge this life-giving breath together. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it out. Let it go. Namaste. Thank you all for practicing with us this morning. My name is Kerrie with Organic Flow. This is Asha. Asha, you want to tell anybody or the people watching about your experience with Sidewalk Detroit? See, I'll bring this close so you guys can hear on Facebook. Oh, Asha, we can't hear you. Okay. But basically, Sidewalk Detroit is an awesome partner to us, and because of them, we're able to bring some yoga classes over there. So, Asha.
Okay, now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I taught at Sidewalk Detroit last summer, and it was a great experience. I think it's very beautiful to be in neighborhoods that don't necessarily always have access to yoga and healing and ways that we experience it. And so being able to share my practice with the people that are literally in my community, really close to where I grew up, has always just been amazing and heartwarming and fulfilling. And honestly, it's a great group of people out there. We have a good time. It's a beautiful area. Sometimes you see a little deer in the background. It's just showing that life force is always around you. So it has been a great experience of mine. I've definitely been honored to be able to share my practice with the people at Sidewalk Detroit, the people that I met at Liza Howe, where I taught, and with the Organic Flow community as a whole.
Thanks for sharing, Asha. And thank you all who have joined us this morning. And look forward to seeing you at Asha's class this summer at Eliza Howe Park, thanks to Sidewalk Detroit. So have a wonderful day and follow your Organic Flow online. Bye, Asha. See you later.
Bye.